Lisa Carter had always lived a quiet life on the small trading outpost called Haven Station. It was not much, just a cluster of metal buildings and docking bays floating near a minor star. Most of the station's visitors were merchants and travelers who passed through quickly. Lisa liked it that way. She liked watching the stars, listening to the hum of ships, and keeping her small garden of green plants in a corner of the station. She had learned a lot about machines from her father, who had been a mechanic before he passed away. Lisa could fix almost anything on the station, from the smallest droid to the larger cargo drones. People often came to her for help, and she liked the feeling of being useful. She never expected her life to change in a way that would sweep her far from everything she knew. One ordinary morning, the station's calm was broken. A large alien ship appeared in the distance, dark and sharp against the stars. It moved slowly, but with purpose. Lisa was at the docking bay fixing a small supply shuttle when alarms began to blare. Red lights flashed, and loud automated announcements rang through the metal halls. Aliens had arrived. The aliens were tall, their bodies covered with smooth gray scales. Their eyes were black and cold, reflecting nothing human in them. They moved quickly, taking control of the station. Humans and other species were rounded up without mercy. Lisa tried to hide behind crates and panels, but one of the aliens spotted her. "You, human. Come," it said in a voice that was harsh and clipped. Lisa knew she could not fight it. She tried to run, but the alien was faster. She was dragged to a holding area where other humans were already gathered. Fear and confusion filled the room. People whispered among themselves, hoping someone would find a way out. Lisa's heart pounded. She thought about the stories she had heard of humans being sold or forced to work in the outer colonies. She did not know what the aliens wanted, but she sensed it would not be good. The aliens moved efficiently, examining the humans, writing names on small devices, and separating some for different purposes. Lisa was not sure why she was still with the group. After what felt like hours, a ship arrived to take the captives away. Lisa was shoved inside a metal hold, with a dozen others. The walls were cold and smooth. No windows showed the stars outside, only the harsh lights of the ship's interior. The aliens kept watch, but did not speak much. Lisa tried to remain calm. She studied the other humans quietly, seeing the fear in their eyes, the hopelessness in their posture. When the ship landed at a massive orbital station, Lisa's fear deepened. The station was enormous, a ring around a small planet. It was made for work, for labor. Humans were considered tools here, not people. The aliens moved the captives quickly through corridors and into cells. Lisa noticed the size of the station and the endless activity. Ships docked and left. Workers and slaves moved in a steady rhythm. It was a place built for control, not for freedom. Lisa was assigned to a work group responsible for sorting scrap metal. At first, she felt despair. Every day she handled broken pieces of ships, twisted metal, and strange alien machinery. The aliens overseeing the work were cruel. They shouted, punished mistakes, and watched constantly. Yet Lisa noticed one curious thing. Among all the piles of scrap, there was one large, sealed hangar that no one went near. It was old and covered with dust. The aliens ignored it, almost as if they had forgotten it existed. Days turned into weeks. Lisa learned the patterns of the station. She saw how the aliens moved, when they relaxed slightly, and when they were strict. Every day, she returned to the scrapyard, thinking about the sealed hangar. Something about it called to her. She felt drawn to it. She could not explain why. Her curiosity grew stronger than her fear. One evening, when the alien guards were distracted by a sudden alarm in another sector, Lisa slipped away. She moved through the narrow corridors quietly, keeping low, and reached the sealed hangar. It was enormous, big enough to hold a ship several times the size of a human shuttle. The doors were heavy, metal with layers of dust. At first, they would not move. But a small crack opened, and then slowly, the doors slid aside. Inside, the hangar was dark, filled with shadows and silence. Lisa's eyes adjusted to the dim light. At the center of the hangar lay a ship. It was massive. Unlike any ship she had seen before. Its surface was scratched and dented, showing signs of age. But it had a presence. A quiet power that made Lisa's heart race. The ship seemed almost alive. Waiting. Lisa approached carefully, her fingers brushing the hull. She felt a strange warmth, almost like the ship recognized her. She noticed markings in human script. Old military symbols that reminded her of stories her father had told her about the early human space forces. The ship was ancient, forgotten by time, but still intact. For days, Lisa returned to the hangar in secret. She explored the ship, learning its layout, feeling its controls. To her surprise, the systems began to respond to her presence. Lights flickered on, screens hummed quietly, and small maintenance bots stirred to life. A soft voice spoke through the ship's intercom. "Hello?" Operator recognized. "Human. Confirmed. Systems. Restoring." Lisa froze. The voice was calm, almost gentle, but firm. She realized the ship was alive in some way. It was waiting for a human to wake it. Lisa's fear mingled with excitement. She had never seen anything like this. She knew this was her chance, though she did not yet understand how to use it. She began studying the ship, taking careful notes on its systems, repairing small damages using tools and scrap she found on the station. The ship responded to her touch, its AI teaching her as she went. Days turned into weeks as she worked secretly, careful not to be seen. Every night, she returned to her quarters, exhausted, but determined. She had learned one truth. This ship was her only chance to escape the aliens who enslaved her. The alien overseers began to notice strange energy readings near the hangar. They sent patrols, but the AI kept the ship hidden and silent until Lisa was present. The aliens thought it was dead, forgotten, and moved on. Lisa knew they were wrong. She smiled quietly to herself. She had found something they had ignored, something they would regret underestimating. Lisa also began to plan. She did not yet know exactly how she would escape, but she studied the patterns of alien patrols, the routines of labor shifts, and the layout of the station. The ship's AI gave her advice, warning her of dangers, teaching her strategies. Lisa felt her confidence grow. She was no longer just a captive. She was becoming a pilot, a human capable of challenging her captors in ways they never expected. Night after night, she rested among scraps and tools, dreaming of the stars outside. She imagined taking control of the massive ship, leaving the station behind, and flying free. For the first time since her capture, hope returned. It was fragile, like the early dawn, but it was there. And with hope, she knew she could act. Then, one day, as she was repairing the ship's engines, a low alarm sounded. She froze, her heart racing. The alien patrols were coming close to the hangar. Lisa realized she would have to move faster or risk discovery. She whispered to the AI, "We have to be ready. Soon. I can't stay here much longer." The AI responded calmly. "Operator, all systems are improving. Full power will be restored. Escape readiness at 70%. Advise. Continue preparation." Lisa nodded. She wiped sweat from her forehead, ignoring the fear that threatened to overwhelm her. She could do this. She had to do this. Humans were not meant to be slaves. She would not let them win. The hangar became her secret world. The scraps around her became tools. The old, forgotten warship, became her friend and teacher. And deep inside, she felt the first spark of a dangerous, powerful plan forming in her mind. To take the ship, escape the station, and make the aliens regret ever capturing her. Outside, the station continued its routine, unaware of the danger growing quietly within the sealed hangar. Lisa had found hope, and with it, the first step toward freedom. And in the darkness of the hangar, the warship waited patiently, ancient and silent, ready for the human who would awaken it and change the fate of everyone who thought humans were weak. Lisa returned to the hangar every day. The alien patrols were constant, but she had learned their routines well. She moved quickly and quietly, slipping past the corridors, hiding in shadows, and listening to the soft hum of the station. The warship waited patiently in the darkness, its metal surface reflecting faint lights. It was no longer just a ship of scrap. It had begun to awaken under her hands and her care. The first step was restoring the ship's basic systems. Lisa worked carefully, connecting wires, cleaning circuits, and using tools scavenged from the station. The ship's AI spoke to her often, teaching her what each panel, each screen, and each lever did. Operator, power flow to engines unstable. Suggest inspection of conduits, the AI said in its calm voice. Lisa wiped her brow and checked the conduits, finding wires frayed by age and neglect. She repaired them with careful hands, following the instructions of the AI. Each time she fixed something, a small light blinked to life, a small hum sounded, and the ship seemed to breathe. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, the ship's systems began to respond. Sensors lit up, communication arrays clicked, and small thrusters tested themselves with short, controlled bursts. Lisa learned how to read the displays, how to operate controls she had never seen before, and how to navigate the complex interior of the ancient vessel. At night, when the alien overseers slept or relaxed, Lisa explored deeper parts of the ship. She found storage bays filled with old supplies, rooms that had once housed crew, and even hidden weapon systems. Some were simple automated turrets. Others were energy cannons designed for battles long ago. Everything was dormant, but nothing was broken beyond repair. The AI guided her carefully. Operator, defensive systems inactive. Activation requires authorization. Recommend phased restoration. Risk of detection remains high. Lisa nodded silently. She understood the risk. If the aliens discovered the ship, or if it powered up too quickly, they would stop her, or worse. But she also understood the opportunity. This ship was built to fight, to protect, and now it was awakening for her. Each evening, she returned to her quarters, tired but determined. She reviewed her plans, memorized patrol schedules, and thought about escape routes. The aliens had made a mistake in ignoring the ship. They assumed humans were weak, that a single person could not threaten them. Lisa was about to prove them wrong. The AI began to speak more freely, as if it trusted her. Operator, historical records indicate this ship was used in conflicts where human forces were outnumbered. Its purpose was to protect human life at any cost. Systems include energy shielding, propulsion, navigation, and weaponry. Human interface required. Your presence allows restoration. Lisa smiled quietly. She felt a strange pride. Here she was, a human girl, alone and captured. And yet she was restoring a weapon older than anyone on the station. She realized that humans were underestimated for a reason. No one expected them to fight back so cleverly. One day, while repairing the ship's energy core, Lisa discovered a small access panel. Behind it were circuits that had been damaged years ago. Sparks flew as she touched them, and the AI immediately warned her. Operator, damage detected. Risk of overload. Recommend gradual repair. Lisa worked carefully, following the AI's instructions. She patched the circuits with small connectors, replacing wires, cleaning contacts, and using energy cells scavenged from the scrapyard. After hours of careful work, the hum of the energy core stabilized. A soft glow filled the hangar. The ship was awakening more fully than ever. Lisa began testing the ship's controls in small ways. She moved the ship's systems through diagnostic checks, practiced activating shields, and even tested navigation in the simulation mode. Each time she succeeded, her confidence grew. She was no longer just a captive. She was a pilot, learning to control a powerful machine. Meanwhile, the aliens began to notice unusual energy readings near the hangar. They sent small patrols to investigate, but the ship remained hidden, cloaked by its old systems and by the AI's careful management. Lisa learned how to manipulate the sensors to avoid detection. She was learning to think like the aliens, to anticipate their moves, and to stay one step ahead. As the weeks passed, Lisa grew stronger, not just in skill, but in resolve. She knew that escaping would be dangerous. She knew the aliens had forces far larger and more advanced than she could imagine. But the ship gave her hope. It was more than a machine. It was a partner, a silent ally that could protect her if she learned to command it. One night, the AI spoke in a different tone, almost like it was excited. Operator. Propulsion systems functional. Limited testing possible. Recommend small movement within hangar for familiarization. Lisa's heart raced. This was the moment she had been waiting for. She activated the propulsion system slowly, feeling the vibrations of the engines through the floor. The ship shifted slightly, moving with precision despite its age. She smiled. "Good," she whispered to the AI. "We're ready for more." The AI responded. Operator. Systems can handle moderate activity. Recommend stepwise expansion of control. Detection risk remains moderate. Planning required for escape. Operator. 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 Systems. Lisa nodded. She began plotting an escape. She studied the station layout, noting patrol patterns, docking bays, and control centers. She realized that timing would be everything. She would have to move quickly, strike hard, and use the ship's full power to create a path to freedom. The ship continued to awaken under her care. Lights flared, screens displayed navigation maps, and weapon systems powered up for the first time in decades. Lisa spent hours learning the functions of each system, guided by the AI. She practiced activating shields, targeting systems, and maneuvering controls. Each successful test gave her confidence. She could do this. Lisa also thought about the other humans she had left behind. She wanted to help them, to free them from the aliens' control. She realized that once the ship was fully operational, she could create chaos in the station, giving others a chance to escape. The thought gave her strength. One afternoon, while repairing a damaged weapon array, she was nearly discovered. A patrol passed by the hangar, and she froze, hiding behind a panel. Her heart pounded as the aliens walked past, unaware of her presence. She held her breath until they were gone. After they left, she exhaled slowly. "That was close," she whispered. The AI responded calmly. Operator. Risk of detection remains. Recommend caution. Continue repairs in small increments. Lisa worked even more carefully after that incident. She reinforced the ship's cloaking and sensor systems, making it harder for aliens to detect. She learned to anticipate every possible danger. She was becoming not just a pilot, but a strategist. Weeks turned into months. The ship was nearly fully restored. Its engines were strong, its shields functional, and its weapons operational. Lisa had learned every detail of the ship's systems. She had practiced maneuvers, targeting, and defensive strategies. She was ready. But Lisa also understood patience. She knew that rushing could mean failure or death. The station was heavily monitored, and the aliens were clever. She continued observing, waiting for the right moment. One night, as she rested in the hangar, the AI spoke in a quiet tone. Operator. All primary systems functional. Secondary systems nearing full restoration. Escape possible. Recommend preparation for immediate action. Recommend preparation. Act preparation. REAT. Munding 7. Lisa smiled, feeling a surge of excitement. Finally, the time was near. She could feel it. Freedom was almost within reach. She spent the next few days making final preparations. She checked every system, practiced every procedure, and memorized patrol schedules. She gathered supplies, stored energy cells, and prepared emergency tools. Lisa stood in the center of the hangar, looking at the warship she had restored. It was no longer just a machine. It was alive, powerful, and waiting for her command. She placed her hands on the controls, feeling the hum of the engines and the pulse of the energy core. Tomorrow, she whispered to herself. Tomorrow, we leave. The AI responded. Operator. Readiness confirmed. Recommendation. Proceed with escape at earliest opportunity. Probability of success high, with careful execution. Lisa nodded. She felt fear. Yes, but also determination. She was no longer just a captive. She was a human capable of challenging her captors, a girl with a warship at her command, ready to strike back. Outside, the station continued its routine, unaware of the storm that was about to break. Inside, in the hidden hangar, Lisa and the ancient warship prepared for the escape that would change everything. The first spark of rebellion had been lit, and no one on the station, not even the alien overseers, would see it coming. The night was quiet on the orbital station. Most of the alien workers were asleep or in low alert, unaware of the storm that was about to strike. Lisa Carter stood in the hidden hangar, hands on the controls of the ancient warship. Her heart raced with excitement and fear. But she knew the time had come. The ship had awakened fully under her care. Its engines purred softly, shields glowed faintly, and weapon systems hummed in readiness. The AI spoke in its calm, steady voice. Operator, all systems functional. Recommend immediate departure. Probability of escape high with precise execution. Lisa nodded. She had memorized the patrol schedules and knew exactly when the aliens would be least alert. She checked the control panels once more, confirming every system. Thrusters, shields, navigation, weapons, everything was ready. She pressed the ignition sequence. The engines roared to life, shaking the hangar floor. Sparks flew from the ancient conduits as energy flowed through the ship's core. Lisa's hands moved over the controls with practiced precision, feeling the ship respond to her thoughts and commands. The AI guided her through the final checks. Operator. Propulsion nominal. Shields active. All weapons online. Hangar doors can open. Probability of detection moderate. Proceed with caution. Lisa took a deep breath and activated the hangar doors. They slid open slowly, revealing the dark expanse of space outside. Stars glimmered faintly, and the station lights reflected on the ship's metallic hull. The aliens would not expect a human to move so boldly. She pushed the throttle forward. The warship slid out of the hangar with silent precision. Its shields absorbed small vibrations from the hangar edges, and its engines responded instantly. Lisa smiled. She was free, or almost free. The alarm on the station sounded almost immediately. Red lights flashed, and the alien overseers shouted in their harsh language. Intruder! Stop the human! Activate! Defense! Lisa did not hesitate. She pushed the ship forward, moving past docking arms, cargo bays, and smaller ships. The station's automated turrets fired. but the ancient shields absorbed the blasts. Laser bolts struck the hull but made only sparks. The warship was built for battle, and it moved with unmatched agility. From the control room of the station, the alien commanders watched in disbelief. "Impossible," one said. "A human? In that ship? How?" Lisa heard the AI's calm voice in her head. "Operator, defensive maneuvers available. Recommend evasive action against pursuing fighters." Ahead, small alien fighters emerged from hangars and docking bays, swarming to intercept her. They were fast, but the warship was faster. Lisa twisted the controls, weaving between laser fire. Energy cannons on the ship fired back automatically, destroying several fighters with precise strikes. She laughed quietly, feeling a mix of exhilaration and power. For the first time since her capture, she was no longer a victim. She was the hunter, not the hunted. The aliens scrambled reinforcements. Larger ships emerged from the station's outer bays, attempting to cut her off. But the warship's propulsion was advanced beyond their expectations. It moved with speed and grace, dodging attacks while returning fire. Each shot was calculated, each movement precise. Lisa's training with the AI paid off. She had learned every system, every function, and every weak point of the ship. It was almost as if the warship itself trusted her. Together, they moved as one. In the chaos, Lisa saw another opportunity. The station's central control hub was vulnerable. She could strike it, disable communications, and create confusion among the aliens. The AI agreed. "Operator, targeting control hub possible. Probability of success high. Recommend immediate action." Lisa adjusted her trajectory. The warship's weapons targeted the hub, firing concentrated energy blasts. Explosions rippled across the station, sending debris and sparks flying in every direction. Alarms grew louder, and the alien overseers scrambled to regain control. Meanwhile, in the slave labor sections, humans and other creatures watched in awe as the sky outside lit up with explosions. Many of them whispered hope, realizing that escape might be possible. Lisa had not forgotten them. She could not. The warship fired again, cutting through key energy conduits and disabling defensive systems. The station shook violently. Docking clamps released ships, and alarms blared endlessly. The aliens tried to regroup, but the chaos worked in Lisa's favor. She activated the ship's secondary systems. Small repair drones emerged from hidden bays, fixing minor damage and reinforcing shields in real time. The warship was learning, adapting to the battle as she commanded it. A squadron of larger alien fighters approached from the opposite side, determined to block her escape. Lisa tightened her grip on the controls. She felt the ship's engines respond instantly, accelerating faster than the pursuing vessels could match. Energy cannons fired in rapid bursts, taking down enemy ships one by one. The station's outer defenses began targeting her with massive turrets. The AI calculated trajectories, warned her of incoming fire, and suggested evasive maneuvers. Lisa trusted it completely. She banked the ship sharply, dodging volleys while returning precise counterfire. Sparks flew, and metal bent under the force of the blasts. As the warship moved toward the station's edge, Lisa noticed small shuttles attempting to escape the chaos. Some carried humans, others aliens fleeing the battle. Lisa hesitated for only a moment, then decided. She would help the humans. She guided the warship to intercept the shuttles carrying human captives. Using precise maneuvers, she created paths for them to escape safely. The aliens realized too late that the human was not just escaping. She was striking back, destroying their defenses, and giving others a chance to flee. Panic spread among the alien forces. They had thought humans weak, incapable of rebellion. They were wrong. Lisa's heart pounded as she pushed the ship further. She activated a burst of speed, propelling the warship away from the station and into open space. Energy beams from the station followed her, but the shields held firm. The AI calculated trajectories, guiding her safely through the chaotic field of debris and destroyed ships. For a moment, Lisa allowed herself to breathe. She had done it. She had escaped the station. She looked back at the burning structure, a mixture of anger and triumph in her eyes. The aliens had underestimated her, and now they were paying the price. But she knew the battle was not over. More alien fleets would come. Reinforcements would arrive. She would have to be ready. The warship was powerful, but the galaxy was full of dangers far greater than this station. Lisa understood that freedom came with responsibility. She had to fight, not just for herself, but for others who could not fight alone. The AI spoke in a calm voice, as if sensing her thoughts. Operator. Primary objective achieved. Escape from station complete. Recommend plotting course to safe region for repairs and resupply. Probability of interception, moderate to high. Lisa nodded. She began plotting a course to a nearby asteroid belt, a place where she could hide temporarily and make further repairs. The warship moved smoothly, accelerating through space with incredible speed. As she traveled, Lisa thought about the humans she had freed and the others still in captivity. She realized that this was just the beginning. The aliens would not forget this escape, and they would try to hunt her down. But she had learned one important lesson. Humans were stronger than they seemed. Clever, determined, and brave. The stars stretched ahead of her, endless and full of possibility. She felt a surge of hope. She was not alone. She had the warship, her skills, and her courage. She would continue fighting, learning, and surviving. The galaxy would soon learn that humans could not be enslaved without consequence. As the warship moved into the darkness of space, Lisa allowed herself a small smile. She had escaped the aliens, destroyed their defenses, and freed others in the process. But most importantly, she had proved something to herself. She was not weak. She was human, and humans were never powerless when they refused to be. The warship hummed beneath her, alive and ready. Lisa knew that many challenges lay ahead, but she was prepared. The first battle had been won, and it had shown her the power of courage, intelligence, and determination. She would continue forward, not just for herself, but for everyone who had been oppressed by the aliens. The galaxy was wide and dangerous, but Lisa Carter and her ancient warship were ready for anything. The first strike had been successful, but the war was just beginning. And somewhere deep in space, far from the station she had escaped, other alien fleets were beginning to hear reports. They were hearing one name more than any other: the human who had escaped using a warship. And fear began to spread. Lisa Carter had escaped the orbital station, but she knew the fight was far from over. She was in space now, piloting the ancient warship she had restored, and every movement she made was careful, precise. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, but danger was everywhere. Alien fleets would soon hunt her, and the humans she had freed were still vulnerable. She had to act quickly. The warship hummed beneath her hands, alive and powerful. The AI spoke in its calm, steady voice. Operator. Defensive systems fully operational. Offensive systems fully operational. Recommend strategic targets, supply hubs, labor stations, and command outposts. Probability of success high with careful planning. Lisa nodded. She had learned one lesson from the escape. Humans were underestimated, but clever and determined. She could use that to her advantage. Her first move was to disrupt the alien supply chains. Many of their fleets depended on distant stations for fuel, food, and energy. Lisa targeted a supply hub near a minor planet. The AI calculated the fastest route and the optimal attack pattern. Operator. Probability of success in direct strike. 80%. Recommend stealth approach. To minimize risk. Lisa smiled. Stealth it is, she whispered. She adjusted the warship's sensors to remain invisible to the patrols and moved silently toward the hub. When she arrived, the station looked like any other supply outpost. Small docking bays, energy storage tanks, and worker quarters were all visible. The aliens did not expect a single human ship to challenge them. Lisa activated the warship's energy beams. They cut through the station's outer walls with surgical precision, avoiding unnecessary destruction but disabling all vital systems. Alarms rang across the hub. Alien workers scrambled, but there was no one to stop her. The warship's shields deflected incoming fire, and its automated drones repaired minor damage instantly. Lisa moved from one target to another, destroying control centers and communications arrays. By the time she left, the supply hub was useless, and the aliens were forced to send reinforcements from other sectors. Lisa knew this was just the beginning. Every strike she made would force the aliens to divert resources and rethink their strategies. Humans were clever and unpredictable, and she was showing them just that. Next, she focused on freeing more humans. Reports from the AI indicated several labor camps across nearby systems. Lisa plotted a course for the nearest camp. She arrived under the cover of darkness, using the warship's stealth mode to avoid detection. The camp was heavily guarded, but Lisa was prepared. She activated the ship's magnetic grapplers and hovered silently over the facility. Energy beams disabled perimeter defenses. Aliens tried to respond, but the warship moved too quickly. In minutes, the gates were open, and the humans inside were free. Lisa coordinated their escape carefully. Some were able to take shuttles hidden in storage bays, while others were guided to the warship itself. The AI handled communications, ensuring that everyone remained safe. Lisa felt a sense of pride and responsibility. She was not just fighting for herself anymore. She was fighting for others. Word of her actions spread quickly. Across nearby systems, stories of a human in an ancient warship began to circulate. The aliens were alarmed. They had thought humans weak, incapable of rebellion. They were wrong. Very wrong. The aliens began sending larger fleets to hunt her. They had learned from the first attack that humans could be dangerous when underestimated. Lisa knew these encounters would be more difficult. She studied each fleet's composition and movement patterns carefully. The AI calculated attack and defense strategies for every scenario. In the first encounter, a squadron of advanced alien warships tried to trap her in a narrow asteroid field. Lisa maneuvered the warship with incredible precision, dodging laser fire and energy blasts. The AI targeted the enemy ship's weak points, and one by one, they were destroyed or disabled. Humans on nearby stations watched in awe as reports came in. They realized that even a single human, guided by intelligence, courage, and determination, could defeat multiple alien ships. Hope began to spread, a feeling humans had not felt for decades. Lisa used this momentum carefully. She moved from system to system, targeting oppressive alien stations, freeing captives, and disabling key facilities. Each strike was calculated to cause maximum disruption, with minimal risk to innocent life. The warship responded to her commands with astonishing speed, almost as if it anticipated her thoughts. The aliens became desperate. They attempted to predict her movements, but she was always one step ahead. She studied their patterns, their weaknesses, and their pride. They underestimated humans at every turn, and that gave her an advantage. One day, she intercepted a transport carrying important alien leaders. The warship's sensors confirmed their identities. Lisa knew that striking them would create chaos, but she also knew that she could not be reckless. She activated the warship's stealth mode and moved silently behind the transport convoy. With precision, she disabled the engines of the lead ship and created a blockade for the others. The alien leaders were trapped, unable to move or communicate. Lisa sent a message through the AI. "Release your prisoners, or your fleet will be next. You cannot win against humans when you refuse to see their strength." The alien leaders panicked. They had never seen a human act with such power and intelligence. They agreed to release some captives under strict supervision. Lisa allowed them to leave, knowing that fear was now on her side. Back on her warship, Lisa reflected on her journey. She had escaped the station, fought alien fleets, freed humans, and disrupted the enemy's plans. She had become more than just a captive. She was a symbol, a force that others could rally behind. The AI spoke in a tone that felt almost proud. "Operator, human initiative has caused significant disruption. Probability of long-term success improving. Recommend continued strategic operations and protection of liberated individuals." Lisa nodded. She knew she could not stop. The aliens would not forget, and the fight was far from over. But she also knew that every human freed, every station disrupted, was a step closer to balance. Humans were underestimated, but now the galaxy would see their true strength. She planned her next move carefully. Several major alien command stations remained, and many humans were still enslaved. Well, many humans ported on side, will starting. Lisa calculated the risks, prepared strategies, and rehearsed maneuvers in the ship's simulator. She knew that intelligence, courage, and precision were her greatest weapons. Her first major target was a large command hub near a dense asteroid belt. The AI suggested an indirect approach, using the asteroids for cover. Lisa agreed. She maneuvered the warship silently, weaving between massive rocks, avoiding sensors, and moving undetected toward her target. When she arrived, she struck with precision. Energy beams disabled the outer defenses. Automated drones entered the command center, cutting communications and control lines. Aliens attempted to respond, but the warship's shields and weapons were too powerful. In a matter of hours, the station was neutralized. Humans inside were freed, and the aliens had no choice but to retreat. Each successful strike increased her reputation. Humans across multiple systems began whispering her name. She was no longer just a pilot. She was a legend, a symbol of hope and resistance. The aliens learned to fear her. They had enslaved a human, and now, that single human was turning the galaxy against them. Lisa never allowed herself to become careless. She continued moving carefully, always studying the enemy, always planning her next move. She knew that the aliens would eventually gather forces larger than she had ever faced, but she also knew one truth. Humans were clever, adaptable, and brave. She could not be defeated so long as she relied on her mind and the ship. In one system, she discovered a group of humans trapped on a mining station. The aliens had left them under armed guards. Lisa did not hesitate. She activated the warship's stealth approach and disabled the station's defense turrets. The miners were freed, cheering as they boarded escape pods or followed her warship to safety. The AI spoke with calm satisfaction. "Operator, liberation operations complete. Probability of continued success high. Humans inspired by actions. Morale improvement. Observed." Lisa smiled quietly. She felt proud, but also thoughtful. The warship was powerful, but its true power lay in what humans could do when they refused to accept oppression. Intelligence, courage, and unity were stronger than weapons alone. As she traveled through space, the alien fleets grew more cautious. They sent scouts, patrols, and even spies to track her movements. But Lisa was always one step ahead. She used the stars, asteroids, and hidden paths to move silently and strike unexpectedly. The AI guided her with precision, ensuring every action had maximum effect. Every success strengthened her belief in humanity. Every human freed reinforced her purpose. Lisa realized that the warship was not just a tool, it was a partner, amplifying the courage and intelligence of a single human into a force that the aliens could not ignore. Months passed. Lisa had freed hundreds of humans, disrupted dozens of alien stations, and damaged multiple fleets. She had become the symbol of resistance, the human who could not be controlled, the girl who escaped using a warship and changed the balance of power in the galaxy. The aliens finally understood the cost of underestimating humans. They had enslaved one girl, and in return, she had awakened an ancient warship, freed countless prisoners, and become a living legend. Fear spread through their fleets and stations. Every report of her actions reminded them that humans were not weak. Lisa looked out at the stars from the bridge of the warship. The galaxy was wide and full of challenges, but she felt ready. She had fought, learned, and survived. And she knew that humans, when united and determined, could achieve far more than the aliens ever imagined. The AI spoke, softly, almost like a friend. Operator, the mission continues. But humans now know their strength. Fear and hope balance across the systems. Future actions can continue to shift power toward liberation. Lisa smiled. "We'll keep going," she said. "For every human who has suffered, for every life stolen, for every station we can free, we'll fight. Humans will never be enslaved again." The warship hummed beneath her, alive and ready. Together, Lisa and the ship moved through space, a symbol of courage and defiance. The galaxy had learned a harsh truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. And somewhere, in the vast darkness of space, alien leaders whispered her name in fear, finally regretting the day they had enslaved a human. Lisa Carter, a single human girl, had changed everything.